I am delighted to be joined by Janey Lee Grace today. Thank you so much, Janey, for joining us.
Oh, thanks for inviting me. Lovely to chat to you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So you are presenting at the 2024 NLP conference. You're presenting in the virtual part of the conference, and your topic is grow your heart-centered business. So please do start by telling us a little bit more about yourself and your presentation.
Yeah, sure. So probably quite a lot of people know that for many years I've been in the media. So I was on Radio 2 for 24 years. So it's a very scary long time. And in addition to that, I've been writing books and articles, and I've been an interviewer. I've also worked on Hay House Radio and many other media outlets. So I think probably over the years, it's fair to say that I do kind of understand how the media works and how PR works from the perspective of somebody who is an editor, a journalist, a producer, a presenter. But I also really understand it from the other side, from somebody who wants to get their stuff out there, because as an author, as someone who works as a coach and, myself, then I've wanted promotion over the years for what I do. So I think it's given me a unique kind of insight into, what I call both sides of the microphone. So I kind of do know now how to go after the opportunities that I want and how to maximize them. And I also know what the journalists, the editors, the producers are looking for. So that gives me a fairly unique take on it, I think. And what I, love to do is to just try and encourage people who have a heart-centered business, as I call it, people who are working with their passion and they have a message to share. I just love to encourage them to get that message out there, because I think that with a lot of coaches, therapists, experts, practitioners, they're really good at what they do, really good at what they do, and they love doing it, but they're not always so great at standing in the spotlight and going, well, here I am. Often they tend to kind of go, well, I'll get recommendations, and they probably will. But it's that thing of, well, how many more people could you be reaching with your fabulous message if you stood in that spotlight and were willing to kind of put yourself out there, but in the right way, in an authentic way. Sorry, it's a very long answer.
No, I think it's a brilliant answer, and definitely something that we resonate with, and probably can talk to you about offline another time, because I think it is so important to be willing to stand in that spotlight and learn the tips and tricks for how to do that.
Well, I think that's the thing. It's very much is just tips and tricks. It really isn't rocket science. And there's been, the reason I got into this work particularly is because of those years in the media. And I'm sure that many people would have heard me say before, but I've sat there in a Radio 2 studio pre-recording an interview with someone who I won't be named, obviously, but was a hypnotherapist. And that was years and years ago, before many people even spoke about stuff like hypnotherapy on the radio. And there was an opportunity there for this hypnotherapist to speak to 9 million people. Wow. But because he or she hadn't really prepped, hadn't really got those skills, it was a terrible interview. Not because they weren't good at their work. They were great at their work, I have no doubt. But they just hadn't got the confidence, the skills, the no prep had been put in, and it was just disastrous. So we had to drop it. And it was in that moment I just thought, I cannot bear it. I can't bear it. I can't let anybody else ever, attract an opportunity and not maximize it. It's just heartbreaking. So as I say, it's just skills, and working with tools to give you that confidence that you do need, and to help you get that preparation.
Absolutely. So what practical learnings will delegates take away from your session, Janey?
Well, I mean, hopefully we'll be able to dig into exactly, well, the why, of course. We'll start with the why is it so important, and then we'll dig into, well, exactly what are the different ways we can go about prepping our message and making sure that we know how to present what it is we do, and then how to actually reach out and approach the right people, who might be able to help you get your message out there. And of course, I talk about both sides of the brand, as it were. So on the one hand, practitioners, therapists, experts want to reach out to potential clients, and so there's PR in inverted commas, there's sharing of a message to get out there. But my belief is, in addition to reaching out to potential clients, we also need to be reaching out to the media in some way, whatever that might be. And of course, it's massively expanded from what it used to be. Of course, there's masses of opportunities now, so that one can kind of feed into the other, as it were. And I do think that why would you agonize over reaching out for clients if you can put a little bit of effort in and have somebody else do that for you, by talking about you, by promoting you. One thing will feed into the other.
Absolutely. So is there anything that delegates can do before your session so that they have a sort of deeper experience or understanding of your session?
I think the one thing that might be beneficial is just for the people attending to just ask themselves, well, what is it that I do? What do I do? Which might sound like a ridiculous question, but it's actually quite a powerful question, because we're often not very good at expressing what it is we do. So we will talk about that, but if they've had a little think about that first, doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not looking for a crafted elevator pitch, but just to know what you do is quite useful.
Yeah, and quite profound, as you say.
Yeah.
So Janey, I mean, what inspired you to want to present at the conference?
Well, I mean, I've been a fan of the NLP conference for years. I think I presented something at the NLP conference years before I even trained in NLP myself. So I've always been a fan of this organization and the work that you do. And then in more recent years, since I've trained as an NLP practitioner, I just love it. I use it, all the time in my coaching and the work that I do. So I'm just always delighted to be part of it.
Wonderful, thank you. I mean, I think that sounds like it's going to be a very powerful session, and certainly something that all NLP professionals could benefit from knowing a bit more about that, especially from both sides, as you say. So just to remind people, Janey is presenting at the NLP conference in 2024 at the virtual part of the conference on Sunday, the 11th of February at 1400 hours, which is GMT, because the clocks won't have gone forward by then. And as I said, your presentation topic is Grow Your Heart-Centered Business. So thank you so much, Janey, for spending time with us today just to explain a bit more about what your presentation is going to involve. And we look forward to seeing you in February.
Brilliant. Thank you.